But it was crazy, like I never ever worked out in my life. I was that person. I was like a little trolley dolly, you know, like really long hair, nails, eyelashes. If you really want to make this your career, you want to give it your all, you're going to sacrifice everything. Okay, I should be set, you know, in the eye of society. I should be set, but I'm not happy. Like I've got a good house, I've got a good job, but there must be more. I think I just have no quit. I have no quit. If you ever think you're going to come and you're going to like mold me and you're going to stop me, that's not going to happen. But there was something, like when that first bell went, that just like utter sheer calm just goes over me. Like I don't think I've ever felt so present and so like at peace like I am in the ring. Okay, can you hear me? My name is Daniela Miranda. Well, I'm a fighter. I fight out Sabaidi, Muay Thai here in Hackney. I'm from Portugal originally. I was born in Lisbon, but I've lived in Hackney for like 28 odd years. So I don't class myself as British, but I definitely think I'm a Londoner and a Hackney girl.
You said you was born in Lisbon in Portugal.
Yeah.
What's the journey from kind of, what was it like in Lisbon, Portugal, from the journey to now Hackney, London? How did that even happen? What happened?
Well, my mum moved us here, like she broke up with my dad and she moved us here when I was about six years old. So yeah, moved with my mum and my older sister. One of my sisters stayed in Portugal with my dad. She didn't want to come here, obviously. Because Portugal is amazing, but it hasn't got a lot of opportunity. So mummy moved us here and we moved to Finsbury Park actually. You see so many food banks and like, you see so much homelessness, like it's mad. And then I would never be able to buy a house here, for example, even though I've lived here 20 odd years, because the house prices are so high, because like they made this like a bougie area, but then every other corner you've got a food bank or like homeless people. So it's quite sad, it's quite mad.
Like me personally, when I go in, I like to go to the head from the inside. I win that position quite a lot. People will still barrel out. So if I go with the left arm, if I swing that, and catch it. From that angle, I can compromise your position very easily, even if I'm tall, even if you're tall. Makes sense? Yeah, makes perfect sense. So all you want to do is swing that left hand. When you use it like you are. Yeah? So for the same position. So here, and then you're going to go on the top, swim, capture. That's it. Yeah? And now lift this a little bit. There. Now it's an active under. If you can get your shoulder under my armpit, even better. Yeah, so you can start to get that.
So I finished university quite early because I did all my GCSEs in college. Yeah, so I was notorious in secondary school. I actually got kicked out of school. But I wasn't a bully, you know. I was always getting into fights in school because I was like defending people from bullies. But then I got excluded and I went back to Portugal when I was 14 for a year. Then I came back and I didn't have a place in school. So I did my GCSEs in college, actually here where we are now, Hackney Community College. That's where I did my GCSEs and I went to uni. And I finished like my English literature degree. I wanted to be a teacher. But then as soon as I finished, I was like 20 years old. And I thought, oh, I've got nothing to teach kids. So what's the next best thing? My sister works in oil and gas. She's like a tech engineer, like she's a proper like scientist. And she got me a job as a secretary in the oil and gas company, just in Old Street. Like it's so local. I feel like I've been here all my life. In Old Street, and I started off as a secretary. It was a company called AMEC, Oil and Gas, and then I started to work really closely with like the buying team. So then I started as a junior buyer there. So started as a junior buyer, became a buyer, and worked in oil and gas for about 8 years. It was crazy, like I never ever worked out in my life. I was that person. I was like a little trolley dolly, you know, like really long hair, nails, eyelashes, and then just not sporty at all, you know. And then, you know, when you're in that corporate environment, you know, you're always like out, always partying, always eating out, you know, like, but then it got to a point for me that I was like, there's got to be more to life than this. And then, yeah, oil and gas is a good industry, like it's a private industry, so you got money in it. So I was making quite good money at a young age, you know, like I was making really good money. And, you know, I'd moved away from home, I just moved in with someone. And I was like thinking, okay, I should be set, you know, in the eye of society, I should be set, but not happy. Like I've got a good house, I've got a good job, I've got a happy relationship, but what? There must be more. So, long story short, my best mate from work used to go running at lunchtime, and I always used to take the piss out of them. I'm like, who wants to go running at lunchtime? You're supposed to eat at lunch, not run or train. So he took me for my first run, Jamie, that's his name, took me for a first run, first 5K. Yeah, I was definitely like 27, 28 when I did my first ever run. And he took me at lunchtime and I never stopped. And he was like, I can't believe it. You never stopped. Like most people, you know, they stop for a breather, but no, you know, he was like, you got some grit in you. So tomorrow, instead of a run, I'm gonna take you to the gym. So he took me to the gym the next day. So that's already 2 days in a row that I was going to the gym or doing something at work at lunchtime. And he put the first barbell like in my hand, like a little dumbbell. And it was like 5 kg and I was like, ooh! I was like so weak. You know, my nails like, oh, I can't pick this up. And I kind of became addicted from then, like literally in 3 months, I went from like, I couldn't lift like the little 5 kg dumbbell, like I was squatting like 70, you know, I was feeling really proud. Like my body started to transform, like I was running every day at lunchtime. And then I think, yeah, probably not even 3 months in, I did like my very first race, which was like the London 10K. I've always lived here in Hackney and I've got Fight Zone down the road. So every time I was coming home from work, I used to see Fight Zone, which is my first ever gym. I used to see it and I used to think, okay, maybe if I can't lift that, I can't run. Maybe like I can try something new. Like, okay, let's see what's that, what Fight Zone's got. So they had like MMA. But for 30 days, I used to walk past, look at the door and be like, nah, not today, not today. And I don't know, finally I got the courage and I went in there. It was an MMA class. And I was thinking, why MMA, God knows. I think probably because like you had Ronda Rousey in it, UFC, and I was like, right, I'm gonna be your next Ronda Rousey. So I'm walking in there like this little high pony, like nails, high heels into the class. I bet everyone's looking at me like, who is this nutter? So I go in, do my first MMA class, and there's this girl, Angelica, never gonna forget her. She's probably the reason why I'm training till today. So we did the whole class and there's sparring at the end. And I'd never done anything, let alone spar. So I go with her and I tell her, look, never done, this is my first time. She was like, it's my first time too. And then she hits me with the dirtiest right hand I've ever felt in my life. I was like, oh, what the hell is this? But I was excited, I was like, all right. So I tried to fire, obviously, I had no idea, I was probably like just clawing at the air. But I fought back and I said, when I finished the class, I was like, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, but I'm gonna come back. But I think I need to try something else. Not MMA, because it's called mixed martial arts for a reason. Maybe I should try a martial art. But like, that's when I knew I loved it because I was always so wild, right? Like I was saying, I was like Pharaoh, I got banned from sparring because I was like, you know, nuts. But then, the first time I ever did my very first interclub, everyone was thinking I was going to be like an absolute nutter, right? But there was something, like when that first bell went, that just like utter sheer calm just goes over me. Like I don't think I've ever felt so present and so like at peace like I am in the ring. Like everything just melts away and I'm just there. Like, it's just that moment. And I think that is what got me addicted. And that's when I knew, I was like, that's it. This is what I've been looking for. Like, all those years that I told you I was like in oil and gas and I was working and I didn't know what was missing. I was like, okay, that's it. And since then, I've been fighting ever since that very first interclub. I think, yeah, so 3 months interclub, maybe like a year, tops C class, like my very first one. I only had one N class fight. Like my first T class was like a rematch straight away. And then just from there, like I never stopped. I literally think.
Oh, and again, another elbow there being flung.
Yeah, WBC National, and that was at 53.5, that was in August. And then in October, I won the MTGP British belt. That's the white and red there, and that was at 50 kg. And then in December, so that was like August, October, December, I won the Big Daddy one, which is the ISKA like world title, which still is quite mad because I'm like, oh crap, when people say you're a world champ, I'm like, oh yeah, shit, I am, you know, that's crazy. Like I said, I never envisioned any of it, you know, like before, but now I like it. I'm hungry for it. Like, just keep on throwing these opportunities at me. Like, just keep on thinking that you're gonna feed me to some sharks. But yeah, like, you know, just keep chipping away, and then like an opportunity definitely will present itself. But you gotta make sure you're ready for it, you know, like do all your manifestation, do all your gratitude journals, you know, like do everything. But you gotta put some grind into it too, you know, because nothing's gonna be like handed to you in your lap. And when it's a fight, it's a 50-50, right? Everyone, whoever it is that's put in the ring against you, they got that same hope, that same wish, that same dream, or whatever it is that you have. So like, just be prepared. Like, fighting is the most selfish sport anyone can do. And your family will suffer for it. Not only will they suffer when you go into the ring, because you know their heart's in their hands, but they suffer because then you're not there. Like, if you don't, you're just not there. And if you really want to make this your career, you know, like, you want to give it your all, you're gonna sacrifice everything. Birthdays, Christmas, whatever. Like going out. For me, because it started so late, you know, I'd already done all my going out. I was what, 28, 29, I'd done all my going out. I'd done everything. Like, it didn't hurt me that I didn't go out, or I'm not like getting pissed anymore. But, you know, for other people, there's no more, there's like social life. Your social life is in the gym, because your best mates and everyone you make in the gym after a while. But yeah, no social life, sacrifice your family life. Most of the time, sacrifice relationships, because people, if they're not in the same sport or don't really understand what you're doing, they don't understand how many hours you're not going to be at home because you're training. And then when you get home, you're tired, you know, or they want to go out to eat and you're like, how many calories in that? You know what I mean? So that's what I think is sacrifice, not even like status or job or what you used to do. It's kind of like the people that sometimes you may lose. I swear I've got brothers and sisters that don't even message me anymore because they're like, Daniela's not gonna come because she's fighting, you know. So yeah, that's a tough one.
I've got one last question for you, and it's not about Thai boxing really, it can be whatever, but what's the best, I end every interview like this with this question anyway, but what's the best piece of advice somebody gave to you that you've heard that you'd give to others?
I think it's like, don't be scared. Don't let fear take over. And I think actually not even that, is that fear is only really excitement. So if you look at your nerves and your fear as an excitement of something really good to come, then there's going to be like a world of opportunities like available for you out there. So look at fear as excitement. Whether you're a fighter and you're a little bit scared and a little bit jittery, just make sure you turn those nerves and you know it's just your body like preparing you, so your adrenaline going, because something exciting is about to happen. And I think that's it. Definitely fear is not really fear. It's just excitement for something that's unknown, you know. So like, don't be scared of the unknown. Like, just take the jump, you know. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's amazing, Danielle.
I don't know. That was mine too, you know. Let me say, I didn't copyright theft this, But yeah, I think